Are you finding it difficult to get in front of new buyers? Maybe you're able to get their initial attention, but once you get into the meeting, things fall apart. Whatever the case, if you're selling B2B or business to business, it can be a real challenge to try and get your buyers' attention and really move them from an initial point of contact into a discovery meeting and ultimately to a close. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I consider the ultimate B2B sales pitch. Now, this is not a single sentence or a value proposition. This is the structure of how you need to put your pitch together to be successful and to make more sales. So watch this video to the end. There's a quick little bonus I share with you as well. I am Shawn Casemore, and I help you learn how to sell more in less time, putting more money in your pocket. If that sounds good to you, make sure you click the subscribe button. You'll be notified each and every time I release a new video, which is usually every single week, and click the like button on this video so I get notified that this is the kind of content you're looking for. Now, let's jump into it. So let me start by expanding on what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Ultimately, a sales pitch is not what most people think. It's not a matter of standing there saying, hey, you should buy my widget, here's why, there's 16 reasons, it's gonna suit your needs, you can't be without it, we're the best company going, buy it now. That is not a sales pitch. That's just annoying, right? But what a sales pitch really is, it's the key elements of the sales process put together and replicated to generate results. So what I want to share with you are those key elements of the sales process that I've seen people use repeatedly to generate new levels of sales. So without further ado, let's jump into the first point. My first point is this: stop killing yourself with research. I find more sales professionals spend time researching than they do actually meeting with their buyer being the prospect that they're trying to get interested in buying something. So they'll spend hours researching, days in some cases researching, which in essence sometimes suggests they're procrastinating at the actual meeting.
Dude, what the hell? I'm doing research.
You know, sales is a numbers game. The more people you connect with, the more opportunities you'll have to sell. Now, there's more to it than that. Just because you shake hands or say hello to somebody doesn't mean you're selling them something. But for heaven's sakes, don't get stuck in all the research. I literally suggest you spend 15 minutes before reaching out or connecting with somebody to prep. What does that prep look like? Well, visit their LinkedIn profile. Make sure, by the way, you turn your profile, you hide it if you want to, you don't have to, so they can't see you're checking them out. But again, sometimes there's strategies for not hiding your LinkedIn profile. More about that in another video. Also, make sure you check out their website and learn a little bit about what the company does, right? You probably know already from attending events and dealing with similar buyers what some of their challenges might be. But for heaven's sakes, don't spend hours researching. And if you're the kind of person that just jumps in the call without researching anything, spend that 15 minutes, spend a few minutes. We just need enough information to have a conversation that gets our buyer's attention. Spending too much time means we're not generating the activity levels to get the sales we want. Spending no time at all usually makes us look like a not so intelligent salesperson in front of our buyer because we have no idea relative to their company, what they do, where they're located, any of that. And that's key to start to create some connection. The second thing I want you to consider in your sales pitch is bring evidence, bring examples. Stop relying on a presentation. Stop talking about how great your company is and it's been around for 30 years. That stuff's important, but it's not important when you have that first meeting or the first discussion. You're wasting time on things that don't matter to the buyer. Let's be honest, buyers care about what? Themselves, their needs. If they happen to connect with you, or better yet, have a meeting with you, their ultimate question in their mind is, how can you help me with my current problems? We can discuss those problems, but what's more valuable, a better way to present problems is through examples. So let's say for a moment, I've been selling to a certain kind of, let's say I've been selling to an insurance company. I've been selling software to an insurance company, or I'm an insurance company selling insurance to other businesses, whatever the case is.
Do you have enough inland marine insurance? Or business overhead expense disability insurance? These are the things I thought of as a kid.
I have enough experience to tell me what the typical problems are, and I have enough case study material, meaning we helped company A achieve X, we helped company B achieve Y, that I can bring those into the conversation. And when I say things like, you know, we helped a company just like yours double their sales in 12 months through the use of our software, would you like to learn more about that? Who wouldn't want to hear about that? But if instead I give a statistic or just a bullet point, that doesn't get any attention. If I say, yes, we can help you double your sales in the next 12 months, but give me an example. Talk about a company that's done it. So through examples Case studies, not long ones by the way, brief ones. What you can do is bring your key points to life. And that's what's going to get the attention and hold the attention of your buyer. That also helps them relate to what it is you're selling. So bring evidence, bring examples, and use them as you're having discussions in order to bring your solution, your value, the value of your company and product to the table. Now, I mentioned a second ago the word value. Let me expand on that for a minute. If you want to differentiate in today's market, if you want to stand out amongst your competitors and have the ultimate B2B sales pitch, you need to add value. Now, I know you've heard that a million times. You're thinking, okay, value, what does that mean, Shawn? Smile, be friendly, be responsive? Well, yeah, it means all of those things, and we've got to think about value on multiple different levels. So for each buyer that you engage with, ask yourself the question, how can I add value? And then look at certain areas of that buyer's business in order to come up with examples. So, for example, you might want to add value by setting yourself apart from other people who are selling what you sell. How would you do that? Well, you might respond and tell your buyer, if you get back to me or if you have any questions at all, I typically respond within 30 minutes. That's a way to add value, because what do most salespeople do? If they respond, it's usually if they respond quickly, I should say, it's usually to say, I'll get back to you tomorrow, right? A lot of them, and if it's 6 o'clock in the evening, they will wait till tomorrow.
How come you didn't respond to my message?
So you could also add value by saying, hey, if you need to talk to me after hours, usually it only takes me about 90 minutes to respond. Just text me the best number to reach you at and we can coordinate. Right, so you can add value personally. You can also talk about how your product or your service can add value. Talk about how it has solved problems. I talked about evidence before of other companies, other people in similar instances. You want to think about value as a pyramid and consider the fundamental value that your product brings. I gave you an example of that a moment ago. Think about the unique value. What is different about your product in the market today? Think about the value that you as an individual can bring and how you can set yourself apart from other salespeople. What can you add, assist with, or help with? I used to actually offer to go in and do tours of prospects' facilities, and as we would walk through the tour, based on previous experience with other clients and my own experiences, I would point out different things. Hey, have you ever considered this? Have you thought about that? You know, I know somebody that could help you with that if you're of interest. Those kind of things add value. And what you're really going for, the measure of your ability to add value, is at the end of your discussion or discussions with your buyer, they ask themselves this question: wow, if I get this much now, what would happen if I actually purchased from this person? Right? That is the real measure of the value you bring. So if you're struggling a bit to identify what is it you can offer value, and even those different levels I shared aren't helpful, what I want you to do is ask some existing customers or clients of yours and just say, hey, let me ask you a quick question. What did I bring to the table that's valuable, that was helpful to you? Use that and start with that. Just simply replicate it as part of your process, and then you begin to add value. And that is how you set yourself apart in the marketplace. If you like this video so far, make sure you click the like button. That tells me this is the kind of content you want to hear more of. You can also click the subscribe button at the top to be notified each and every time I release a new video. This fourth point is about bringing your product or service and the value and benefits it provides to life. You know, too many times we just rely on the same old topics, themes, presentations. We rarely think about taking the experiences of our existing customers and clients and using that as a way to inform our future customers and clients. Here's some examples of how you can bring something to life. Is the product or service you're selling something that is experiential? Meaning that if a prospect was to see it in action, it would be beneficial and it would really help them understand the value you bring. If the answer is yes, can you take an existing customer or client and arrange a tour? Can you bring them in on a meeting? Can you set up a separate reference call to allow them to speak? If whatever it is you're selling is not experiential, it's more theoretical, so it's very difficult for somebody to see the value until they personally experience it. Again, can you provide video testimonials, written testimonials, anything that is from your existing or past customers or clients that speaks positively about their experience? So when it comes to bringing your product or service to life, ask yourself, how can I take my existing customers or clients, who are at least the ones that are happy with your product or service, and connect them with new prospects to help bring this to life? Maybe you create an explainer video where you take a series of video testimonials and put them together in one, and you share that with your buyer. Ultimately, buyers are more likely to trust your customers or your clients than they are you, especially early in that conversation. So the more you can bring examples directly from your customers or clients into the world of your prospect or your buyer, you'll have a better chance at keeping their attention and converting them into a sale. So make sure you bring the experiences of your product or service to life. This last point I want to share with you is what I call the 3 R's. We want to continue to reinforce our message. We want to re-engage with buyers even if they fall off the face of the earth, which can tend to happen. And we want to repeat ourselves. So ultimately, when it comes to today's buyers, they're really busy. They get sucked into all sorts of things. There's been all sorts of studies done. You've heard me talk about them here before. But the key is this: you can't reach out a half dozen times, and if you don't hear something, give up. That doesn't work that way. And I've talked before about how to structure your outreach in order to get the most effective response. There's other videos on my YouTube channel you can check out to see that. But what I want you to do is have the mindset that ultimately, if I'm creating a sales pitch that's going to work, it's got to be something I can replicate. I want to make sure I reinforce my points, and I want to repeat this over and over and over. And as I learn new things that work or things that don't work quite so well, I just make adjustments. I pull them out of my pitch and I add those new things in. So if it's not working, I replace it with something that is, but then I just rinse and repeat over and over and over. That is what successful sales professionals do. They don't give up, they don't stop, they never ever lose sight. If you've identified a prospect and you believe that prospect is somebody that can buy from you, until they sell you, I cannot buy from you, I do not want what you have, don't give up, don't stop, don't harass them.
Could I have it? Could I have it?
Add value as you go, right? But don't give up, and don't ever let go of that name, by the way. All right, I got a quick bonus for you here. Just hold on a second. Hey, before I jump into the bonus, down below is a link to what I call my 30-day sales action planner. It's a tool that you can print off or use electronically to fill out your goals and track your activities week over week. I'd suggest you grab a copy. It's the best way to make sure you bring your pitch to life with this rinse and repeat format that's so important. So use the link below, grab your copy now. There's no obligation, no cost. It's my gift to you. All right, bonus tip for you. When it comes to the ultimate B2B sales pitch, I don't want you ever to think about this as a pitch. I know that sounds crazy, but my son pitches in baseball. And what I've noticed about pitching is that there's a beginning and an end, or a start and a conclusion. But really in B2B sales, there never is a conclusion, right? The only way it's going to conclude is if you retire. So what I want you to think about is this is not really a pitch that you're creating here. This is a process, the ultimate B2B sales process, because it's something that you want to document however you prefer to do that. You might use your CRM, you might draw it on a scrap of paper, and then you continually improve it as you learn more, and you rinse and reapply over and over and over again. That's how you get successful in B2B sales. So if you've been working on your pitch, I want you to set it aside, work through these steps, somehow document this, and then as you learn new information, get new feedback from buyers, make adjustments, rinse and repeat. All right, if you want to be successful in sales, next to creating a B2B sales pitch or process, as I mentioned, you really need to learn how to be more influential. Next, I'd like you to watch this video on how to be influential or more influential in sales. I think you're going to find it's going to build on what we've talked about here. So click that next, and until next time, let's get out there and go sell something, shall we? We'll talk to you soon. Take care.